last night, I know, preseason. Mike, preseason, let's not exaggerate. But Trey Lance didn't have time to do anything. They put up 0 points. And now that's their final preseason game. You're going into a season with Trey Lance with Super Bowl aspirations. I'm wondering, have we all been, and you know, Mike, we are big Trey Lance fans on Brother from Another. Mm-hmm. He is the young quarterback. He's the under 25 quarterback for Brother from Another. Derek Carr is the over 25
Derek Carr's backup. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So is our love for Trey Lance kind of throwing us off from looking at the situation as it is? This is a precarious situation for San Francisco. Mm-hmm. You got Super Bowl aspirations, and you're giving the ball to Trey Lance in 22? Mm-hmm. This thing gonna work?
Well, Mike, this is why, and it's obvious what direction they have to go with Jimmy Garoppolo. Remember we kept arguing a while back about the merits or the logic of retaining Jimmy Garoppolo after last season, and I was like, I don't think it should be such a slam dunk that they move on from Jimmy. You know, maybe they make him compete or something. But obviously that ship has sailed. But to answer your question, man, dude just hasn't played football. Like, he played the 1 year at North Dakota State, which was brilliant, the one game in the COVID-shortened season, then prepared for the draft, barely played last year. Like, he's raw. And little things, like there was a play, I was in the green room last night with my man Ryan. It's that play, that throw right there. If we could run that reel again. Ryan Fitzpatrick went crazy in the green room last night because he was like, that receiver should still be running. It was a completion, but if he places the ball properly, mechanically, fundamentally, then that receiver is running. Look how much room he has to run if he leads it properly. He has a lot to learn at this position. He has a lot to learn to play quarterback, and he's doing it at the NFL level, and he's doing it for a team, like you said, Michael, with a Super Bowl roster. So I think 49ers fans are going to have to do something that they're accustomed to doing, Amina, at the quarterback position, which is be patient.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what it is. And you made a good point when you talk about the fact that Trey Lance doesn't have a lot of experience. And so that's why I raised my eyebrows in the beginning, Holly, when you talked about Super Bowl aspirations. I was kind of taken aback a little bit. I said, I don't know about that. I don't think this is going to be the season.
The rest of the roster,
patience will. Right, the rest of the roster maybe, but once you hand the keys over to Trey Lance and he hasn't had that experience yet, I think it's just going to take some time for him to understand the nuances of the offense, to understand the pace of the game when he's out there playing during the regular season, because we could point to the preseason all we want about the mistakes being made and things like that, and maybe even some of the highlights that he's had out there on the field. But once you get into the regular season and you're playing full game speed and guys are playing to get into the playoffs to win a Super Bowl, that's a totally different story. And that's going to be a huge learning curve for Trey Lance once he gets into the driver's seat and he's really leading this 49ers team this year.
Mike, the only thing that I do want to pump the brakes on, Mike, and I've said this, I've tried to remind myself of this. This time last year, and I know it's not the same thing, but this time last year, Jamar Chase couldn't catch. He could not catch it. And I keep saying that to myself. So you said off the top, you know it's just preseason, and yes, you could still look at some things and say, oh, the kid's got a ways to go. But I just want to be careful not to declare this, this season a transition year. Maybe it gets better quickly, and as the year goes on, we'll see.
That was the peak of my Jamar Chase criticism. Right there, that's where I peaked. I peaked in August.
I was in Cincinnati Wednesday. I had Bengals security being like, "Your boy come around yet? Your boy a believer yet?" So, I might not have been here, but I wasn't far away.
They're my Bengals. Last thing I'll say on this is your colleague from Amazon, Richard Sherman. How about that? Mm-hmm. Your colleague, Richard Sherman, said last night that, what they're asking Jimmy Garoppolo to do is akin to, there was a divorce and one of the divorcees brings the new spouse into the house and they're all living in the same house. He's like, that's not fair. Mm-hmm. So that's what they got going on with Jimmy Garoppolo. But I say, okay, since Garoppolo has already handled that situation, he's been a good teammate, no distractions. Why not do a little pivot and say, okay, Jimmy, we ain't gonna trade you. and we ain't gonna cut you. Like you're gonna be the backup. You'll be the backup to Trey Lance. You gotta say that. You gotta say he's the backup. And if this thing is an abject disaster after 3 or 4 games, the backup becomes the starter.
It's not like he's gonna say, "Nah, I ain't playing." Listen, Mike.
Right.
It's not realistic, but it is logical, and I get where you're coming from. It's not ridiculous because, and here's one way they can convince themselves that it could work. From a salary cap standpoint, from an investment standpoint, Trey Lance is on his rookie deal, so that $24 million is just kind of inverted, if you will, and you're paying your backup who's taking you to 2 NFC Championship games and a Super Bowl. You're paying him what you would normally pay a starter, and your young guy's still on a rookie contract. So from an investment standpoint, it's not the worst thing, and it's not the worst idea given the kind of teammate he is. Is it realistic? No, they're not going to go that route. He's going to get cut, and he probably end up in Seattle. He won't end up in Cleveland. They love Jacoby Brissett. I can tell you that much.
That's Michael Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Smith.
Right.
Catch him on shows such as Brother from Another.
Right. About Monday. I'm going to be in Buffalo on Monday, so I may not be able to see you on Monday, man. Did y'all talk about this Matt Araiza situation on a serious note? Did y'all talk about that in today's show? Y'all hit Matt Araiza?
Talking about which?
The Matt Araiza situation.
Oh, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
No, we didn't talk. We didn't talk about it. We didn't bring it up.
We'll talk about that next week as this further develops. We got to unpack that.
It's very
for real, all jokes aside.
Yeah, it's serious. This is serious. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.